Good morning, students. Today we will continue with our lecture of cell and their membranes. In the previous lecture, we have studied about the different kind of cells, that is prokaryotic and the eukaryotic cells, and about the microscopy, the light and the electron microscopy. Today we will study about the plasma membrane and the various models which were proposed to explain the structure of the plasma membrane. Basically, every cell, whether it is prokaryote or the eukaryote, is surrounded by the thin covering which is referred to as the plasma membrane. This plasma membrane is semi-permeable because it allows only the selected materials to pass through it. It has the property of elasticity and it restores its former position after being pulled. It is living and dynamic because it undergoes constant renewal, can repair minor injuries, and controls the flow of material. The thickness of this membrane ranges from 70 to 100 angstrom. Apart from the cell, the organelles are also surrounded by the membranes, and because this plasma membrane and the subcellular or the organelle membrane plays very vital role, therefore they are collectively referred to as the biological membranes or the biomembranes. The different models which was proposed to explain the molecular structure of the cell membranes were first of all, Overton in 1819 gave a suggestion that the cell membranes are composed of the lipids. His finding was based on the fact that the lipid-soluble substances can pass through the cell membrane more readily than the water-soluble materials. And after separating the mammalian RBCs, it was confirmed that the cell membrane consists of the lipids. Then in 1926, Gotter and Grendel proposed the model after isolating the membrane of the RBCs, mammalian RBCs, and measuring the surface area of RBC and calculating the amount of the lipid. Then the lipid can occur in a layer, and that too only 2 molecules thick. That means the lipid occurs in a double layer, and they proposed the double layer structure of the lipid. Then came the Daniell and the Davison. The surface property of the lipid bilayer was found to be different from the properties of the living cell. This problem was resolved by the Daniell and Davison in 1935 when they proposed the laminar or the sandwich theory, according to which the cell membrane is composed of double layer of phospholipid and it is sandwiched by the monolayer of single continuous layer of proteins. So this is basically the structure. This is the structure which was proposed by Daniell and Davison. According to this, the cell membrane is composed of the lipid bilayer. This is the lipid bilayer. It is surrounded by a single layer of globular proteins. These are the globular proteins. Because this phospholipid is sandwiched by the 2 layers, this was also referred to as the sandwich theory, or it is also referred to as the laminar theory or the sandwich model. The phospholipid molecules are basically in this at right angles to the surface, and their non-polar hydrophobic fatty acid tails are directed towards each other, and their hydrophilic polar heads composing of phosphate are directed towards the protein. The protein are of globular nature. This model states that the cell membrane is a stable structure with little functional specificity and variability. But this model fails to explain the passage of water and the water-soluble material and the active transport of the materials across the membrane. This was the shortcomings of this theory. Then came the Robertson. Robertson model is, this is the Robertson model, unit membrane model. According to Robertson, what he examined was the electron micrographs of the membrane of RBCs, and he found that the cell membrane consists of 3 layers. These were the electron micrographic studies which was examined by the Robertson. He observed that the electron micrograph of the mammalian RBC consists of 2 dark layers. These are the two dark layers, and in between there was a light layer, light staining layer. The outer two dark layers were considered to represent the protein monolayers. These were the protein monolayers, and in between lighter layer was referred to as the lipid bilayer. This shows that the Robertson supported the Daniel-Davidson model of the cell membrane, but he proposed that the proteins are of extended nature instead of the globular conformation. This gave rise to the unit membrane hypothesis. This is the unit membrane hypothesis. Robertson noted trilaminar or three-layered structure of the membrane, and he proposed the unit membrane hypothesis. According to this hypothesis, a membrane consists of phospholipid bilayer sandwiched between two protein monolayers is a lipid unit membrane. This is the phospholipid bilayer sandwiched between protein monolayer is referred to as the unit membrane. The various membrane in a cell are unit membranes or the multiple of the unit membranes. Like the endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, they are the unit membranes, whereas the mitochondria and the nucleus, which are surrounded by the two membranes, are double unit membranes. All the lipid bilayers have an external or the exoplasmic surface and the internal or the cytoplasmic surface. The exoplasmic phase is directed away from the cytoplasm. This is directed away from the cytoplasm, and this is directed towards the cytoplasm. In organelles which are bounded by single membrane, exoplasmic phase is oriented towards their lumina, whereas in the double unit membrane organelles such as mitochondria and nucleus, the exoplasmic phase lines the intermembrane space. Unit membrane hypothesis failed to explain the dynamic nature, the functional specificity and active transport across the membrane. Therefore, another theory came into existence, or another model which is now universally accepted model was the fluid mosaic model. The fluid mosaic model explained the structure of the protein molecules like this. This is the fluid mosaic model which was proposed by Singer and Nicholson. In 1972, Singer and Nicholson, and in 1974, Green and Ronald Capaldi proposed fluid mosaic model of the membrane structure. According to this model, cell membrane consists of highly viscous fluid matrix, which is composed of two layers of phospholipid having globular proteins associated with them. The properties of the lipids of eukaryotic membrane varies. They can be 90% of the lipid and 10% of the protein by weight in myelin sheath. In inner mitochondrial membrane, there is 25% of the lipids and 75% of the protein. Basically, according to the fluid mosaic model, the cell membrane is composed of two things, the phospholipids and the proteins. Firstly, the phospholipid molecules have their polar head directed outward and the non-polar tails are directed inwards. These are the polar heads represented by the blue. They are directed outwards, and these non-polar tails are directed inwards. This arrangement basically forms the water resistant barriers and does not allow the water soluble substances to pass through it. The phospholipid bilayer, this bilayer is 35 angstrom thick. Each layer of phospholipid is referred to as the leaflet. This is one leaflet and this is the other leaflet. The two leaflets have different lipid compositions. Whereas the biological membranes contain phospholipids, other lipids which can be present are cholesterol or glycolipids. All lipids in biomembranes are laterally mobile in their position. They can change their position with their neighbors, and this gives the fluid nature to the structure of the plasma membrane. The lipid molecules can really move from one leaflet to the other leaflet, and this is called the flip-flop movements. The prokaryotic cell membranes lack any kind of steroids. Then the proteins are represented by these yellow structures. These are the globular proteins. These are the different proteins. The proteins are basically of two kinds in the cell membrane. Firstly, they can be the extrinsic proteins. These are the extrinsic proteins, or they can be the integral or the intrinsic proteins. This is the intrinsic protein. These are intrinsic proteins, and these are the extrinsic proteins or the external proteins. The peripheral proteins are basically the peripheral or the extrinsic or external proteins are basically located superficially and do not always cover the entire surface of the phospholipid. They are loosely bound to the membrane and they can be easily extracted. Most of them are held by protein-protein interactions or by protein and lipid head interactions, hydrophilic head interactions, these polar interactions, or by the protein-protein interactions. The integral proteins are embedded in the matrix. These are embedded in the matrix. They are difficult to remove. They are tightly held in position by either with the strong hydrophilic interactions or by the strong hydrophobic interactions, or by both, like these. These are held by both the interactions. Each protein layer is 20 angstrom thick. This phospholipid layer was 35 angstrom thick. The protein layer is 20 angstrom thick. Some integral proteins have very large molecules and they lie throughout the membrane. These intrinsic proteins are referred to as the transmembrane or the tunnel proteins. They are the proteins which forms the channel for the transport of the water and the water-soluble substances across the membrane. Other integral proteins have small molecules that lie in the outer and the inner surface. The scattered nature of the protein molecules gives the name, the mosaic, to this model of the plasma membrane. The fluid nature is because of the ability of the lipid molecules to move from one to show the movement with their neighboring lipid molecules in a leaflet, and the mosaic nature is because of the scattered appearance of the proteins in the cell membrane. The proteins provide the structure and the functional specificity to the cell membrane, and the proteins freely shift sideways in the fluid lipid matrix to make it flexible and dynamic. Therefore, this model is also referred to as the protein icebergs in the sea of lipids. Some proteins are immobile because they are anchored in the cytoskeleton, anchored to the cytoskeleton element. Proteins also play an essential role in the formation of junctions between the cell, which will be studied later in this chapter. The protein monolayers gives elasticity and mechanical support to the lipid matrix. The protein molecules may act as carriers, receptors, or enzyme molecules. There can be three kinds of proteins according to their function. They can be carrier proteins, they can be receptor proteins, they can be enzyme molecules. First, the carrier proteins. These are the protein molecules which are involved in the transport of materials across the cell membrane or the cell organelles. They bring about the selective exchange of material between the cell and the extracellular fluid, or between the cell organelles and the intracellular fluid. More of the active membranes have more number of these carrier molecules, and these carrier molecules are referred to as permeases. Receptor molecules are basically the cell membrane proteins which mediate the flow of information into the cell. This process is called a signal transduction. For example, many of the hormones cause their effect by flow of information across the cells, which is because of the signal transduction, because of the presence of these receptor proteins on the surface. Then lastly, the proteins can be enzyme molecules. The membrane carries enzyme molecules which are needed for their function. For example, the mitochondria has the respiratory enzymes for carrying the electron transport chain. Sometimes these exoplasmic surface of the cell membrane also has oligosaccharides. These oligosaccharides can be associated with the proteins or they can be associated with the lipids. When they are associated with the proteins, they form the glycoproteins, and when they are associated with the lipids, they form glycolipids. And the asymmetry of this cell membrane is because of the presence of these glycolipids or the glycoproteins on the exoplasmic surface. The asymmetry is also because of the different composition of the lipids in the two leaflets, and the two faces of the membranes also have different proteins. This contributes to the asymmetry of the cell membrane. The glycoproteins and the glycolipids which are present on the exoplasmic surface of the cell membrane are very species specific, and they are able to recognize the cells of the same species, and they aggregate and adhere together in the group. These cellular interactions play a very important role in embryological development, in the formation of tissues, and in the defense against the foreign bodies. Phagocytes also works on the same principle of recognizing the cell from the non-cell cells, and this is because of the presence of these glycolipids and the glycoproteins on the cell surface. The rejection of the transplanted organs or reaction of the transfusion of incompatible blood is also because of the capacity of the cell membranes to recognize their own kinds. The plasma membranes and the organelle membrane have similar functions due to their similar basic nature. The cell membranes, according to the previous models which was given by Daniel Devson or the Robertson, the cell membrane was a stable structure. But according to Singer and Nicholson, it is a fluid structure and it is very dynamic structure. This can be explained by the fact that the constituent molecules can freely move in the membrane. The proteins and the lipids can freely move in the membrane. The cell membrane constantly renew during the cell life. They can repair minor injuries. They grow with the growth of the cell or the cell organelles. They expand and contract. They allow interaction of the cell, such as recognition and the fusion of the cells, and they also control the flow of the materials through them. Temperature affects the fluidity because with change in the temperature, the consistency of the lipid changes, and this affects the fluidity of the membrane. If there is change in the temperature that changes the fluidity, this fluidity will affect the enzymatic and the solute transport functions, which in turn will affect the metabolism of the function. That means that the cell membrane regulates the cell metabolism. So this was about the different models which was proposed so as to explain the structure of the plasma membrane, and the most widely accepted theory is the Singer-Nicholson fluid mosaic model. So these are the different structures of the cell membrane. Thank you so much.